So a back stitch is probably the most common stitch that's used in embroidery. It helps you get a really straight and even line. And all of your stitches should be about the same size, okay? So you're always gonna start on the wrong side. So there's the right side and the wrong side. So the wrong side is where all the knots and all the crosses and everything that you don't wanna see. So on the back, okay? So you're always gonna be pulling it towards you to the right side. The right side is where your design is gonna be. So I'm gonna pull this all the way through so that my knot is on the wrong side. Okay. And then this is where you decide how long you want your stitch. Okay. Do you want short stitches? Do you want medium stitches? Do you want nice and long ones? All up to you. Okay. For this, I'll probably do one that's about a medium size stitch. So you're gonna go forward just like you normally would. You're gonna do your first stitch, forward one. So I want all of my stitches to be this length. Okay. So instead of just coming back up right here through that same hole I just went into, I'm gonna go forward and kind of eyeball the space between my needle and my stitch. Is that about the same length as this stitch I just did here? Okay, so this would be a little bit too short. So you're going forward the distance of this first stitch that you made. Does that kind of make sense? Okay, so I'm pulling it back through in front. Okay, and then this is why it's called a back stitch. Okay, you're going back into this hole here. Okay, so I'm going back to where that first stitch ended. So they're the same length, and I'm going to do it again. So go out past the next stitch along that same line, making sure this space between the needle and the last stitch is as long as you want your stitch. Up, and then going back into that hole that you just made with your last stitch. Okay. So this is a really easy method for making sure that your stitches are nice and straight. Because you can put your needle in, kind of see, is it too far? Am I too close? Am I too far to the right or the left? So you're making sure that you're the correct distance away and that your stitches are the right size. Okay, so I'll do a couple more so you can kind of see. So this can be done as a decorative element. You can do this in like any shape. I'm just showing you for a nice straight line. Right, and then I did that by hand. So it's a really good method for when you are doing it by hand, because you know, we're human. It's not always gonna be perfect like if you're using a sewing machine. And then on the back, you can kind of see why this is called the wrong side, right? Because the stitches don't look quite as pretty on the back. Okay. So I'll show you how to finish this. So when I'm done, so say this is I did my last stitch. I like how it looks on the other side. I'm finished. So I'm always gonna go kind of near where that last stitch ended. I'm gonna tuck my needle under some of my stitches on the wrong side. Okay. Then this is gonna create a loop here. So before you pull your needle all the way through, I'm gonna twist my needle around this tail about 4 to 5 times. Okay. I'm gonna pull my needle through these loops here, hold my finger down, and that's gonna make a nice knot here. And I can show you guys one more time. So I'm sticking it under my worked stitches on the back on the wrong side. I'm pulling it through so there's a small loop here. Okay. I'm gonna wrap it around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pull it through. I'm holding those loops down. I'm squishing them so that the knot is close to your fabric. So that's gonna make a nice knot there. Okay. So that's my original really small one, and then my finishing knots are a little bit bigger because I'm looping it about 4 times. Okay. And then I always leave a little bit of a tail so that it doesn't unravel. It shouldn't if the knots are that big. And then I'll trim my other side as well. And then it looks nice and clean on this side.